All right. As part of my year-end close and my fascination with Richard Burns rally, decided that I'd do one last rally. And I love the concept behind blind rallies. I've talked about this before, is that a lot of the stages that I drove or roads that I drove, togeys, etc., in Assetto Corsa, I drove completely blind. I'd never driven them before, so I got on the road and I just drove and, didn't put down a blazing time, but had fun and enjoyed driving the car and responding to the road as it came. So the idea of a blind rally is exactly that. You do not have the benefit of the co-driver's calls as you're driving. So you're literally having to visually feel the road and make decisions on your own. And of course, you're driving more cautiously, more slowly than you might with a co-driver call, but it allows you to kind of enjoy the road, enjoy the drive, and hopefully do well, and not hit a tree or go off the road or do whatever. So that is the idea behind the blind rally, is that you don't have insight. So we're looking right here at the Loppuvuoden Megaralli BLIND. I know I mispronounced that, and I'm not going to try to correct it. But all of these stage names are not actual stages in Richard Burns' rally. They're the names that the organizers have given to these stages, and there's no way to discern what stages they are, so you can't pre-drive them and practice them. So you're literally having to drive them completely blind with no co-driver support at all. You can make some inferences in the first leg. There's a 7.1 kilometer, it looks like a tarmac run. And okay, well, that's interesting. Maybe, and it is tarmac dry. You can actually go back a little bit here. So it is a tarmac dry rally. So we can actually go and look at the list and maybe discern what that could possibly be. We're not going to, but we could. But the rest of them here, we just have a total distance for the leg, and we don't have anything to kind of give us a hint of what comes in these legs. I did note something that I thought was rather interesting that I wanted to show you really quickly, is when I look at the results are pretty bleak. You notice all the Finnish flags, and Finnish are just sort of notoriously very, very good at rally. And all of these people in the top 8 had the SuperRally. If you don't know what that means, it basically means is as you're driving a leg, if you crash on any stage in that leg, any of the remaining stages in that leg get a penalty time. It's 150% of a set time for that stage. And you get that for all the stages that remain in that leg, and it allows you to start the next leg anew. And so for each one of the legs, if you crash anywhere along in any of the stages, you basically amass a tremendous penalty that puts you well behind the curve of anybody that's able to finish the rally cleanly. A lot of Finnish flags and a lot of super rallies tells me that this is not for the weak-hearted. I know that there's at least one blind hairpin that caught a lot of people out. And if I looked through, there's a lot of early leg 2 and even early leg 3 super rallies already on the boards. And only a handful of people, if we go back to the rally description here, out of 32 people that have tried, only 8 have actually finished the rally, and that includes those that finished with a super rally. My chances aren't good here, but I'm going to have a good time, and I'm going to share it with you. So let's go ahead and jump into this blind Loppuvuoden Megaralli BLIND and see how we do. And we're going to do it in the Porsche 911 SC 3.0 Group 4 car. So let's select our car. And looks like we do have a service park after this where we can change our tires for the gravel section. So we can do this as tarmac and have some fun. So let's do exactly that. Come on. How many times can I go through that menu? It's very old school menuing, but quite enjoyable. Very much a throwback to games.
3, 2, 1, go.
See where you can see the road and where it goes. That's good, because you can go faster. Where you can't see the road, you have to drive more cautiously. I really have no idea what comes next. That's the other thing too. I'm at a slight handicap, having not driven RBR a lot. I don't know these stages at all. Go. There we go. I'm determined to not crash out doing something stupid, like going way too fast where I can't see the road. See the road again. Probably seem like a bit of an idiot driving so slowly. But if it's blind and you can't read it, you have to exercise some prudence. At least I do. I saw all those Finnish flags and I'm all like, wow, wouldn't it be just awesome if a stupid American came in driving slowly and ever so cautiously? And wound up doing better than some of the guys that really kind of, I think, own this sport. Rally is not a huge thing in the U.S. I don't think. It's one of those things that I hear a little bit about, but not very much. It's always something I've been interested in, but from afar, because like rally schools and things like that, usually I think the closest rally school to where I am is up in the Pacific Northwest, like in Washington or Oregon.
Well done.
So that is probably a ridiculously stupid slow time. But I'm not going to care. It's the first time I've driven that, and I'm proud of my slow 430. But yeah, so 23rd out of, I think there's only like 30. Yeah. So 29 people that have tried this. So I'm towards the bottom of the boards here. I'm assuming that that's probably a SuperRally time, 6:35.129. That's really, really, really slow. So that is and a 2:48 was the fastest. That's just crazy. Okay. I'm going to avoid commentary for now, at least. So 13th over, or by class, 13th in class in the group fours. So cool. These should match because it's the first rally leg finished. So now I need to jump back in and do the second leg, which is a little bit more intense, more stages. So we're going to come in here, tire, gravel, dry. We'll do a gravel setup here by cubits. And we'll start the stage. Let's see what we see. Oh, yeah, let's do that. I don't think I need to repair anything, right? It's kind of odd that it asks you if you want to repair, even if you don't need to repair. So, and then I feel compelled to check and make sure I didn't miss something. Okay.
Three, two, one, go.
Then little road. Thing that I hate more than anything are some of these little roads have, you're going one way for a really long time, really tight turn, and then it suddenly sort of almost cruelly goes the opposite way suddenly in a hairpin, and you wind up, kind of in a bad way. So one of the things that's kind of funny is that I do a lot of driving tours with the Porsche Club of America. I used to. I haven't done as many in the last year or so. But I used to do a lot of driving tours. And a lot of back roads in Northern California are part of that. And sometimes you don't always know where the road is going. And so you have to remember that in that case you're not driving for time, but you have to remember that you've got to drive safe enough to keep the car on the road and always have an out. It's not very good for racing in general. but it's a healthy mindset to have when you're driving a road you're not familiar with. So try to give yourself some exit strategy should the road change dramatically in front of you. Boards and second boards.
Well done.
I'll take it. Like I said, I'm not setting the world on fire, but I don't need to. So I was 6th coming through there. A lot of super rallies. 9th on down were super rallies on this, so that's interesting. So that puts me 5th by class through that. 7th overall after the stage, and 4th in class after the stage. So, okay. Next one on the group. I don't know. The names don't actually match what the stages are. It's a 6.3 kilometer gravel. Oh, I don't think I have anything to repair, but again, I feel compelled. Let's go ahead and start stage 3. See what we get. Sour Cove. Sounds foreboding.
3, 2, 1, go.
Something I noticed the other day when I was driving is that I'm getting some pop in. And I don't know if that's expected. Like the trees and stuff in the distance kind of pop in. I don't know if that's a map problem or a installation problem. Wildlife. We have wildlife. Wildlife. Interesting. That was confusing for a second, but I bet that's fun sometimes if you come in too hot. Got two sides of water. That would be horrible. This type of drive, the way that I'm approaching it, reminds me of some campgrounds that I used to go to when I was much younger.
Well done.
Be on these roads for like ever. Not really sure which way they were going and all of that. So that was really slow, but I didn't hit anything and I didn't go off. I was 8th overall coming through there. So that's not bad. And everybody behind me super rallied. So, so rally stage results by class. 5th there. Okay. After stage, I'm 8th and 5th. Okay. Yeah, no repairs necessary. We're just plodding along. Sure, somebody's watching this and just pissed off at how slow I'm driving, but
2, 1, go.
it's a strategy. We'll see if it pays off. Some of the Japanese togeis are scary as hell. This is kind of what this looks like. Dodgy shift there, sorry about that. give yourself a lot of time, but you have to give yourself enough time. And I have to give myself a lot of time because unlike a lot of gifted rallyists, I am a dyed-in-the-wool right foot braker. My left foot only knows how to clutch. I just can't do the braking thing, especially if I'm having to do like lip shifting and stuff where I have to transition between using my left foot for clutch and right foot for braking and going back the other way. So to cover the brake, I am not accelerating, which makes me slower. Also, a lot of people ask, why would you want to have some brake and throttle applied at the same time? And it's for stability. In rally, you can, in certain scenarios, gravel being one of them, you can stabilize the car a little bit with a little bit of brake while you're throttling. So if you're like going over a big crest, you may want to keep throttle applied and may want to brake a little bit just to drop the nose a little to keep your wheels intact there, or in contact with the asphalt or road surface. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can do when you're braking and throttling at the same time. So it's worth actually learning to do. It's just not something I've ever bothered to do because I've not done a lot of rally driving before. Huge pop in there, you saw. But if I'm going to start rallying more, I'm going to probably have to add to my skill set, my repertoire, as it were, and figure out how to dance on the pedals a little bit more than I do naturally. I've driven a manual shift car in real life every day for, gosh, more years than you want to know about. Probably more than some of you have been alive. And so it's a hard habit to shift yourself out of if you've driven one way. I drive a very nice sports car and lip shift and all that kind of good stuff. But I don't left foot brake. I right foot brake everywhere. This is a nice long drive. My Assetto Corsa drives, if you go back through my catalog of Assetto Corsa drives, I have a lot of toge drives in Japan where I talk about how much I love long drives like this. Almost 2/3 done with this. And again, I know I'm going slow. I'm going slow with a very, very specific purpose of surviving this drive. Trying not to lose sight of that, having fun going fast. Because I have no idea where this road goes. And it is a gravel surface, which means that braking time is a little bit different than on tarmac. Some of these roads, though, can have really nasty switchbacks that can catch you out. Cameraman gave me a wave as I went by. It was nice of him. Wasn't going quite fast enough for him to be a threat to my stability coming through there. So because this is a blind rally, I've chosen to not actually publish this video until after the rally is expired. So no longer an opportunity for you to compete in this. If you were thinking, hey, I'm not going to give that a go now that I've seen it. That's kind of the point, is that you want to make sure that everybody has a fair chance to compete without having opportunity to cheat by seeing somebody else drive it or video. So I'm respecting that, and so this will broadcast as a New Year's Eve joy, although I'm driving it a day earlier than that. So for all of you getting ready to watch the ball drop and ring in 2026, Happy New Year. Hope that 26 brings you everything you need and most of what you want. That you make it a better year than the year prior. It's always the goal, right? Even if you have a good year, you always want the next one to be just as good or better. I think 2025 has been a challenging year for a lot of people for a lot of different reasons. And I think that there's reason to hope that new year will bring in some new opportunities and new focus, and like the slowest 11K drive you've ever probably watched anybody take, unless you've watched some of my Assetto Corsa drives, where I drive equally cautiously, and especially on a road that I've never been on before. That's crazy, right? If I was going too fast there, that would have been impossible to manage. Here's my first boards. There are my second boards.
Well done.
All right. Let's see where that puts us. That was really, really slow, but yeah, I was 13th coming through there. I think that actually means that my time was slower than the than the SuperRally time by 13.8 seconds. So, whatever. I had fun driving it, though. That's actually hilarious. I'm staying where I am. So let's finish off this leg strong, shall we? Let's check the service part first. I don't think I have any damage. I wasn't going fast enough to damage anything. So we'll do this. We'll try to maybe pick up the pace just a little bit to actually beat the SuperRally time. That's a little embarrassing, if I'm honest. I thought that I was going at least fast enough to beat the SuperRally time, but alas, I was not.
3,
It's so funny.
2, 1, go. 1.
Poor Rita. She caught herself there trying to give me directions and cut herself off. It's a 4.4K drive here. So I think with the shorter stages going slow and driving prudently will have less of an impact than the longer routes will. That was nutty. If I was going faster, that certainly would have caused me more problems than it did. I don't think I damaged anything seriously there. May have done some body work damage. But I don't know. Some of these turns are wild. Again, I've not seen any of these roads before. So they are not only blind without co-driver and blind that I've not kind of seen a pre-list of stages that I could practice, but absolutely blind because I've not driven enough Richard Burns rally to have seen a lot of these before. Ever. I got lucky with that off in that it didn't hit that rock that was close by there.
Well done.
Cool. That was nutty. That was almost a bad thing. Oh, it's third coming through there. Oh, because a lot of super rallies. I did go faster than the super rally time, so that's progress, I guess. Oh, so wow, that puts me first through there in class because everybody else super rallied. I bet that turn caught everybody out. I was just luckily going slowly enough that it didn't cost me dearly. I only like finished. Okay. So, how many? I think there are 4, so this will be the third. So let's jump into the third and see what we got here. I think the first thing is a service park. So let's see if we damaged anything. Yep, we got some bodywork damage. So we'll fix that. And we'll jump into stage 6. Also gravel, dry. We'll put Cubit's gravel setup in there. And let's do it. So I have the option at the end of each leg, I could actually pause and come back to it, later or whatever. But
3, 2, 1, go. 1.
I'd rather just sort of eat the whole thing in one bite. Wow, that sucks. I don't like this stage already. This reminds me of a road that I was on Sonoma Mountain Northern California. At night, coming back from a party at a house, I was by myself and decided that I'd take a shortcut and go over the mountain, and wound up on this little, like, cow road. Like, it was, to call it a 2-lane road was being, like, generous by, like, 3 times. I mean, it was really small little road. And I wound up, following it. And ultimately, it took me onto a piece of private property and no room to turn around. So I had to back down to the last juncture that I passed. And this is in a fairly new at the time, maybe 2-year-old Porsche 911 GTS. So I'm on a muddy little 1-lane road backing down a hill so that I could take an alternate path over the mountain. I finally did, manage it. This sucks, man. These guys are nuts. Just a 4.8K little route, but holy cow. So something like this, I've driven a few roads like this in Assetto Corsa too, and the trick, I guess, is to know which side is the drop, and if you're going to crash into anything, crash into the side with a wall that will contain you. That rock on the inside, holy crap. This is a car eater of a stage. Final third to go. This stage sucks. It's like a woodsman's golf path here, golf cart path. It's just a great stage, though. It's really well done. It's very detailed. It's probably one of the better stages I've ever seen. It's just very difficult. First board's nice.
Well done.
You can still damage your car after you pass the finish line, so you have to be a little bit careful. 5:45. I don't know if that's anywhere near. That might be, again, way over the SuperRally time. No, it's not. SuperRally time 6:10.5, so I came in better. So that's good. I was third through there. Second through there in class. Leaves me fifth overall after the stage and third in class. I'll take it. So let's see if there's anything that requires nothing. I didn't think I hit anything, but man, some of those rocks were kind of scary. So let's go on to the next stage here. Let's see what we got. Mine shaft, huh? That does not sound pleasant.
3, 2, 1, go.
Revving my engine like I'm going to be fast, but we all know I'm not. Bit of a lazy clutch. Big ruts in the road there. And I'm sure would damage the car pretty good. So 8.4K pass here, which means that I run the risk, if I go too slow, of not beating the SuperRally time, which I don't really want to have happen again if I can help it, but I also don't want to push beyond my ability to react either. make a bad guess there, that could end badly for sure. Same there. What you can see and then what actually opens up is completely different, and you're right there on the edge, which is kind of scary. It's kind of fun. You would have thought mine shaft we'd be going through like caverns and stuff, but obviously. I guess. Trying to interpret those flags, but last thing I want to do is go the wrong way. Cost myself some precious time with that, stopping the car trying to figure out which way I needed to go. It's embarrassing. Not as embarrassing as driving off the road would be, but I'm not even sure what that was supposed to be. I'm glad I didn't take that at speed. That could have been devastating. That was diabolical, actually. Now that I actually sit and think about it a little bit, that was a diabolical thing to have done. Am I going the right way? Shit. Come on. Nope. Hoping I don't hit anything. First boards. That was confusing as all heck. As was that. That was a diabolical stage.
Well done.
Whoever put this stage together is like a little messed up in the head. That was insane. That was funny. I didn't hit anything, I guess. So all things being equal, it could have been a lot worse. But there are a couple of things there. Yeah, 9th through there. That really sucked. That was worse than the SuperRally time, obviously. So that's funny. That's really funny. So let's see if I did any damage to the car. I don't think I did. Yeah. But yeah, I got lost there a couple of times and wound up paying the price there. That was a rough stage.
Three, two,
5.5
1,
kilometers.
go.
Just kind of a fun little jungle excursion. It's tighter than I really wanted it to be. Yeah. Nothing says I'm slow like finishing behind a SuperRally time. That just... I assume that if you hit anything along the sides of this road that you're kind of screwed. Christmas tree farm. This is gorgeous. This is another really gorgeous stage. Third. Got it slowed down enough to make the turn, but almost stalled it.
Bad squash. 3 left. Well done.
I'm sure that was a horrible time, but we'll see how bad. Oh, not as bad as I would have expected. Okay. I can live with that. Not bad. Okay. Let's see if I need to repair anything here. Nope, don't need to repair anything. We can jump into 9.
Three, 2, 1, go.
Transition to gravel. $8K. This is another one of those that if I go too slowly, I can run the risk of not beating the SuperRally time. I want to avoid that if I can, but I also don't want to, again, I don't want to push beyond what I can see and wind up having an off. I've already had one close call. Flirting with the edge of the road there. Harder than I should. Need to dial it back a little bit. Remember what I'm in it for. I just want to see every K of this thing if I can. Fear of missing out compels me. Roller coaster of a stage, this one. Really had no idea where it was going. lot of the drive, I realize, is kind of coming over a blind crest and going, okay, if I was a road maker, what would I do here based on the terrain that I see? And sometimes you guess right, sometimes you don't. But when you guess wrong, it's best to have been more conservative than more risky in your approach to it. I mean, that's common sense. Makes sense to say that out loud. Is, you know, if you have an unknown and you're gonna have to approach it, it's better to be conservative than to be overtly risk-taking in your approach, because that eventually will bite you. It can pay off too. I mean, if you take a risk and you wind up guessing right and you get a lot of speed out of it, that can produce results. But when you're wrong, it's a rally ending or race ending or life ending situation, and depending upon what context you're driving it in. Okay, enough philosophy. So 6:04.190. Did I beat the SuperRally time? Yes, I did. I beat the SuperRally time by quite a lot, actually. So that's actually pretty good, actually. So 4th, I moved up a spot after that stage, and up a spot in class as well. So nice. So stage 10, getting close to the end of this. This is the next to last. Oh, yeah. I don't think. Oh, I do have some body work that I need to repair. Cool. So next to last stage is the final stage. I think is in a. Yeah, I think it's in a leg all its own. I think I remember that right.
3, 2, 1, go.
6.9K. Little bumps. Nice ruts in the road. It says this is leg 3 of 3, so maybe I'm misremembering that there are only 3 legs to this thing, and this is the final. fun little jump. In the final third now. Cow.
Well done.
All right. 437.756. I don't know if it's better than the SuperRally, but I have to hope that it is, and it is by quite a lot. So rally stage result. So was first, obviously, because everybody else super rallied. I was second after stage. So second overall after the stage. First in class. Rally is finished. I'll be darned. Let's actually look at that real quickly here. So the rally's over here on New Year's Eve, and the results, as of when I drove it, of course, this is provisional because there's still actually a couple of days left in this, but I'm second overall, no super rallies, so I drove the entire thing cleanly. I was beaten by a guy by a minute 33 that had 4 stages that he got default times on, penalized times on. And this time represents about the time that stage where I took the wrong turn, had to back the car up, and then had another wrong way. So I did 2 wrong ways. That one, and then I think that I had 2 that I drove slower than the super rally time. So those things combined, I could have actually done a lot better. So that's pretty cool. Considering all the Finnish flags and the intimidation factor of that alone, I'm pretty proud to be up here at the top at present, again, provisionally. Group 4, top of class. And again, that's because of the super rallies. So I'm not going to be upset about that at all. That's pretty cool. Even if I get knocked down from those standings, I'm not going to be mad at that. That was fun. I saw every kilometer of the rally, and I think that's something to be proud of. Thanks for coming along for the ride. I hope that you enjoyed it. I know that it was painfully slow in a lot of parts, and I know that that can be frustrating when you're go, man, go. But I drove it to my strategy. I made sure that I saw every kilometer, and I hope that that was fun for you too. Definitely want to see you in the next one. So until then, take care. Bye now.
Spaß mache Rennsport.